just a small town girl with a big old dream. Now she's taking it over and making a scene. Yes, it's your turn next, so please take your seat. 'Cause baby, the best is yet to be seen. Good morning, sunshine. Good morning,
Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.
Sunshine's Corner.
This is Sunshine's Corner, and today we're going to be talking about a topic that impacts thousands of hard-working people every year right here. We're talking about compensation, the rights of your injured employees, you know what I'm talking about. So when we speed this up and talk about this, we're going to talk about joining us with the man that talks about it today. It's going to be Mr. Brian Carter of Michles Booth. And Brian is a Florida Bar Board certified, I love that, board certified worker of compensation attorney right here in Pensacola. And he's practicing one thing and one thing only, and he does it well. He's smiling. But listen, he's serving Escambia, Santa Rosa, and Okaloosa counties. And before representing, injured workers, he spent years representing employers. I didn't know that. And insurance carriers, giving him a unique perspective on how workers' compensation system work for both sides. So he gets you the whole picture. Brian is also a frequent lecturer. Okay, I didn't know that. You see, I'm learning more things about you, Brian. Workers on compensation law throughout Florida, and has dedicated his career to helping injured workers understand their rights and obtain benefits that they truly deserve. And Brian, thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you.
It's been a while, but you know what? We got that connection, and the program we're going to be talking about today, we're going to start off with a journey about you and with workers' compensation. What first inspired you to pursue the area, and with all of that experience you have representing both companies and injured workers, that's a lot right there. So let's let you take it and tell us a little bit about Brian, how Brian got started. Why did you go that way?
Well, a lot of people don't realize it, but when you graduate law school, you're just looking for work, right? Like everybody else. You're coming out of college, you're coming out of law school. And I was down in Gainesville and the Ocala area when I first got out of school. And I had two opportunities. And the workers' compensation firm that I ended up with was a statewide firm. It gave me the best starting options. And that got me in the door. And right out of the gate, started to realize what a huge impact that law had on everybody you know.
Exactly.
Everybody you know is either working for somebody or has a business, and it just impacts all of us. So,
absolutely.
That got me in the door of the system. I wasn't expecting to do workers' compensation, but that's how it kind of happened.
I know that Michles Booth, they're celebrating 25 years.
As I am too. This
Hello?
is my 25th year as an attorney, so it's been a road. And I worked for the insurance companies and the employers for about the first 8 years. I moved up to Pensacola in 2002, so I've been here ever since. And after doing it for about 8 years, I realized that I wanted to kind of switch sides. Had gotten that experience on the inside, getting to understand how they operate, how they value claims, handle claims. And I thought that I could make more of an impact.
There you go.
Professionally and also in my community.
Exactly.
By helping the individuals. And fortunately for me, I had the opportunity to meet Mr. Marcus Michles.
Yep.
And right when he was moving over to 501 Brent Lane, I was there day one. I showed up for the new building and the new move. That was my first day with him back in 2008. And here we are. 18 years later, still going.
Absolutely. But you know what, when you say that, and I have to say that about you guys, and I feel like we're family.
Indeed. Yeah.
And it's the camaraderie that I see there in the building with everybody, and the way that you all, with the different entities you go, but you're all going for the same reason.
That's an absolute truth. I think, one, I work with really talented attorneys.
Yep.
You mentioned that I'm board certified, and we can get into that a little later, but there are 3 other attorneys in the office that are also board certified, and that's rare. And that gives you the opportunity every single day to walk next door to the office, to the guys next door, to
Right.
bounce ideas off, to share experiences and tactics and thoughts and plans
Right.
with really talented people. But it's not just about the job.
Say it.
For us, it's about the community. And all of us, you know, being a lawyer is a full-time job,
You got that
right?
right.
But the guys that we have, Clay Taylor's on the Board of Adjustment for the county. Antonio Bruni was on the Park and Rec Board, president of the Park and Rec Board. I've volunteered for the past, I think, 13, 14 years at Sims Middle School on the School Board Advisory Council.
Right.
We're out there.
Exactly, and that's what I think. I want to bring this up because it's like I was telling you earlier. I feel like we're like with Peaches and Herb reunited because it feels so good because of the fact we got connected through the community. What we're doing in the community.
Well, and I know that you like to lift up the people sitting in this chair, but for all those people out there, and I always want to say to you, Sunshine, I don't think there's anybody I've ever met that talks the talk and walks the walk more for the community than you. And that's one of the reasons I love you so much, and I'm just honored to be here with you today.
Oh, come on, man. We are family. But you know, the things that we worked at, because that we worked together doing that. Now I'm saying that because of the entire firm with Marcus and everybody there. That was close to 15 years.
That's right.
A long time. A long time.
Indeed.
But now we're talking about things that we're going to go about it. We're going to do things more. But I want people to know about Brian. I mean, I want people to know about what you do, how important it is that we know our rights when it comes to workers' compensation, because a lot of people don't know. There are so many different entities that we may think do not apply to that, but it does.
That's right. You know, workers' compensation actually started in the 1930s in this country. We're coming up on almost 100 years of work comp.
I didn't know that.
Prior to that, if you got injured on the job, it was a negligence claim. You had to show that your employer did something wrong. You had to, which they don't always do.
Right.
And a lot of employees and injured workers were left without a remedy. And about 100 years ago, the law switched to a no-fault law. So in fact, what a lot of people don't realize is that if you get injured on the job, you don't have to prove that anybody did anything wrong. You don't have to prove that your employer knew about a problem, so that burden is removed. It's very different than a motor vehicle accident or a slip and fall.
Exactly.
It's a strict liability, one of the few strict liabilities that we have in this country. And so, unfortunately, there's a lot of injured workers who something happens and they think that was my fault. I don't have a claim, or I should have known better. And they don't even realize that they have an opportunity to protect themselves through the workers' compensation system. Now, the laws changed a lot over the past 100 years.
Right.
It used to be what I would say is more favorable to the
Employer.
Employee. And slowly, as labor rights and different political movements have changed, those rights have kind of eased back a little bit. But, and that's also why it's so important for you to contact an attorney.
Exactly.
Because the hardest thing about life is we don't know what we don't know.
Absolutely.
Right?
You said something, and that keeps resonating in my thought process. You said a no fault. Explain, no fault. What does that mean?
Okay. So if you think about a car accident, okay, and usually you have one car hitting another car. One person's at fault for causing an accident, and you have to prove that somebody did something wrong. They were speeding, they weren't paying attention, or if you have a situation at like a store and you trip, you slip, you have to show that they knew or should have known that dangerous place.
They knew that banana peel was on the floor and I stepped on it.
It was so brown and old, they knew it was there because it had been there for hours.
Exactly.
Okay. Workers' comp is not like that. So when we say no fault, it means you don't have to prove anything went wrong. If I trip and fall, if I slip, if I lift something and it just hurts me, that's all covered.
Really?
That's right. Yeah.
So if I said, okay, oh, my leg, I hurt it, my bumped it on that thing in that office? And
That's right.
Really?
Yes, ma'am. Now, you have to be able to show
Of course.
that you were within the course and scope of your job.
Of course.
That you had a sudden unexpected injury,
Right.
or if there's, we also have, if there's pollutants in the air, that, exposure claims, that can happen too. But generally, for the most part, 99% are accidents, single event accidents that happen on the job. That extends to parking lots, your employer's premises count. If you're traveling for an employer, like let's say that you had to go interview somebody uptown.
Right.
And on the way there, you get in an accident. That's covered by workers' comp. Even though that you're not on the premises.
I understand, but I was doing it for
you're acting for the employer.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So you see, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot you need to learn. I hope you're taking notes, but better yet, 438-4848. Then you know how to get in touch with somebody who can tell you what to do.
24/7.
All the time.
And that, Sunshine, is probably the biggest mistake that I see that people make.
That was on my list to ask you that one.
Oh, I must have
No, yeah, you saw that, you see.
So many people don't want to make waves at work. They don't want to create problems at work. So when an accident happens, a lot of them don't want to tell the employer that they're hurt or that something happened. And time will go, they may think, you know what, I got private insurance.
Yeah, why use yours and he could.
I can just file this through my Blue Cross Blue Shield. But what happens, they're more hurt than they thought they would be. They're out of work longer than they thought they would be. And they end up getting terminated. And what happens when you get terminated? That insurance goes away because most of us can't afford the COBRA.
Exactly.
Right? So all of a sudden, 3 months, 6 months down the road, you still have medical problems. You just lost your insurance. You just lost your job. And then people are like, oh, but that happened on the job. And then they call me at that time, and I can't rewind the clock.
Is there a statute of limitation?
Well, it's not that there's a statute of limitation. Well, there is, but that's 2 years. So you have to report the accident to your employer within 30 days, according to state law, okay? And you can file a claim for up to 2 years following your accident.
But supposing I did not report it and then I want to do a claim.
Well, if you didn't report it, you're done. But if they did know about it and then you went and did under your private insurance, well, your medical records, when you went to the doctor, you might not have told them that it happened at work. You might have said, oh, I just got hurt, or, normal doctors don't care how things happen.
Exactly.
And so the record has been created that it wasn't work-related, and I can't undo that.
Uh-oh.
So that's why, when you call us, there's no cost.
That's right.
It's a sit-down. We talk to you. We advise you of your rights.
Right.
And the most important thing is to know up front what you need to know.
Exactly.
And if you decide that you want to hire a lawyer, I don't bill hourly. I don't get paid. I don't send you a bill saying pay me this money. I only get something. I only get paid
when you win.
If I get benefits the insurance companies refuse to provide. I would not exist if insurance companies always did what they were supposed to do, because I couldn't feed my family.
Exactly.
Right. So
exactly.
A lot of the insurance world likes to demonize attorneys.
Okay.
They want to make us the witch doc. Don't go, they're sharks in the water, they're bad people. But the reality is, my job couldn't exist if they were taking care of the people that they were supposed to take care of.
What are some of the, what's the most common injury that you find on the job?
I would certainly say backs, knees, joints.
Right.
People, the most frequent, I think, and it comes from a lot, like you think if I told you, oh, it's back injuries, we think of construction workers, we think of hard laborers. What we don't think of are CNAs and nurses that are lifting people, that are put in awkward positions.
Really, as long as I've known you, I've never thought about that part.
And those people are doing God's work.
Absolutely.
Right? They're taking care of the elderly and sick people, and a lot of times they're just put in hard positions and are trying to lift people and take care of people that are heavy.
Exactly.
And so shoulders, backs, and it can often be even combatant people, because sick people don't always, they're medicated or they have problems, so they're wrestling. So you see that a lot.
Unbelievable. When it comes to things like that, if that's the most common thing, then when people think, okay, I'm gonna be okay, I just picked that box up, but I'll be okay tomorrow. I'll go home and take a hot bath and I'll be okay. But what we're saying to you, okay, you've got 30 days.
You have 30 days, and what I always tell people, don't just say it, email it or text it, because you don't want it to come down to he said, she said, did you say, right? You got documentation. People can't erase it, they can't delete it, because you keep a copy to protect yourself that this happened.
All right. What's the most difficult case that you've had to work that some people were lacking in some things that they did not document, and you had to work even harder, even though they got it in on the 30 days and within that period? Have there been cases where a person just said, "Oh, I forgot to tell you this, Brian"?
Oh, every day. And I mean, I don't even know that that's what makes it hard. What makes it hard is the struggles emotionally of seeing what people are going through. I mean, I have opportunities, and we go to trial a lot, and we're willing to fight. Not every law firm is.
That's right.
Not every law firm has the resources.
Okay.
It's expensive. You got
to do what? To go to court?
Sure. Yeah, because you've got to depose doctors and get evidence, and if you lose, we don't get that back from the client. We eat that. That's the risk that we take as lawyers. So if you have a lawyer that's willing to go to trial, that takes resources. Not every firm has those resources. So one of the things that I've always been proud of, and what drew me to Marcus, is he has always said, we're going to court.
Right.
If you need to go to court, we'll fund it. We'll get you there.
Absolutely.
And then if we win, the insurance company pays us for all that, not the employee, not the client. So it's risk on us, and that's their accountability for not providing those benefits that they should have provided up front, right?
We're talking with Brian Carter. He is certified.
Yeah.
I mean, board certified.
Board certified.
That's why I remember you said, no, I'm the board certified. Listen, he's there at Michles Booth. We're talking about workers' compensation, how you can take care of yourself. I've got more things that I want to get clear in my head just talking. Think about that. Don't move. Get that refresher on your coffee. We'll be back with more right here on Sunshine's Corner.
I learned during my military service to train every day to fight and fight to win. If you've been injured in an accident, you already know one thing for sure. The insurance companies are going to fight you for every dollar you deserve. At Michles Booth, we settle most of the cases we handle. But if the insurance companies choose to fight, well, we're okay with that too. If you've been injured in an accident, choose a law firm that's got the resources, training, and stomach for the fight. Michles Booth. Don't be a victim twice.
Nestled in the heart of Pensacola, Dorothy's is a one-of-a-kind, community-driven cocktail bar by Oasis, Florida, created to sustain vital HIV and STI care across the Florida Panhandle. Inspired by the Wizard of Oz, rooted in inclusion and dripping with character, Dorothy's is a welcoming space with award-winning Oz-inspired cocktails, food by Steel Pony Diner, and an unmatched atmosphere. Join us 7 days a week in downtown Pensacola, located directly across from Maritime Park and the Blue Wahoo Stadium.
Step into your hometown boot store right here in Pensacola, Florida. The largest selections of Western boots and attire, including our own style of custom Anderson bean. The boot store also carries a great selection on workwear from boots to fire-resistant clothing. When you're looking for authentic wear, accompanied with authentic service, show up at your hometown boot store where you're more like family than you are a customer. And remember, the savings and selection are found behind the big red boot.
At FPL, we plan for storm season all year long. We're strengthening poles to better withstand severe weather. We're clearing lines to improve resiliency, and we're constantly training teams to act at a moment's notice. Because we're always working, always preparing. So when storms do hit, you can count on us. FPL, working for you every single day.
And welcome back to a conversation today. Well, you know, I tell you all the time, this is a place we have those difficult conversations that, you know, if it's difficult, that's okay. You can feel comfortable sharing it with me because we want you to know exactly what it takes to take care of you. And the only way that you can find out anything to get in depth where you're going, have a conversation. Conversations creates change. Conversation brings you to a point that you didn't think you had, but now you do. And when we were talking about even things when I thought, when we kept talking about, okay, no fault. I had in my head, I've heard here in Florida, no fault. But that goes a different way with everything, even with the thing that you're talking about with workers' compensation. There are things that, okay, if you're on a job, does it deal with stress?
It can. So yes and no.
Okay.
So if you get hurt on the job, that comes with a lot of times because you're hurting.
Right.
Your life has changed.
Right.
That comes with a lot of emotional and mental anguish. If you have a physical injury, for most people, you are eligible for psychiatric or mental treatment as well if the doctor recommends it. The exception for that, if it's purely stress, that isn't covered unless you're a first responder. So following 9/11, understanding all the PTSD and the stress, I think we really started looking at the impact emotionally that has on police officers and firefighters and EMTs. If you're a first responder, you are eligible for solely psychiatric issues, stressors, even high blood pressure and heart conditions.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, but don't you have to prove that though?
Well, you always got to prove it, and that's where we come in.
Right.
Because unfortunately, a lot of times, you know, politicians get a lot of juice passing bills to support people, but insurance companies don't like covering and providing the benefits for those individuals, and that's where we come in. I had a client, an officer, who was shot on the job back in 2012.
Shot on the job?
He was responded to a family domestic issue and was shot, and the bullet went just under his bulletproof vest, through one side, took out both kidneys.
Whoa.
Luckily for him, it missed his spine, but he had to have a kidney transplant. He had to have a pancreatic transplant because he was diabetic, and if you're diabetic, that'll eat up your kidney, and so they had to do both in order to give him a new kidney. Then the anti-rejection medications for those transplants developed a cancer that he had to treat. All of that covered by workers' comp, or was supposed to be, because it all flowed and stemmed from the original accident. And the most frustrating thing for me, we talk about the emotion of it, the heart, is I represented him for 14 years. He passed recently as a result. He's
of that?
Yes, ma'am. And all along the way, the doctors would make recommendations. They would say this is related, and the insurance company would not authorize that treatment frequently until I filed in court. And then if they do it within 30 days of filing in court, they don't owe an attorney fee. I didn't get paid in 14 years on his case.
Really?
But we had to fight constantly to get those benefits for him, get benefits for his wife. Even after he passed, we had to fight. There's statute for if you succumb to injuries from within the line of duty, the widow gets benefits, and we had to fight it all the way. And that's where it tears you up.
You know what's getting me right here? Okay, you shared that you worked with this man 14 years.
14 years.
Without getting paid.
Without being paid. Now, fortunately,
I understand.
Well, I get paid on other cases.
Yeah.
But if
that shows, that says something for the, I mean.
Well, but that goes back to what I said at the beginning. Right? So being a lawyer is about service.
Exactly.
Okay? And you're serving your clients, and then even if we get paid, you got to invest that back into the community that you live in, because you're serving your community too.
Exactly.
You know, And we all do that. I was at a fundraiser the other day for UWF. Man, you want to talk about growth, people.
Yes.
They got some things happening at UWF. I don't know if you've heard, but they went to Division I this year. August 27th, those Argos are going to be kicking off as a D1
I
team.
got invited to I'll be out at UWF next month. I got an email to come out to host a thing that they're doing out there.
Oh, that's amazing. I was out there 2 months ago lecturing for some students. And,
Right.
And that's where you have to give back to the community.
Absolutely.
Because people want to trust you, and they have to understand, there's a lot of options. And I think if you're looking at options, look at the people that are actually invested, giving back. Because the goal is to make income.
Exactly.
But help build up the place that you live.
Exactly. And you keep saying that to give back to the community, give back, to help. It's not, sometimes I think, and I'll say this boldly, sure, we all have to work to make that living, so we got to have those resources. However,
those eggs ain't cheap these days.
oh
Sonshine.
God, not only just
my.
the eggs, okay? But even with that, we have to be able to give back, because even what I believe that when the Bible teaches us, as you give, He shall give more to you.
Absolutely. In fact, one of our employees, Ryan Maxwell, next week, he's going on a mission to El Salvador to help build homes.
Get out.
And that's the kind of thing that he'll be gone from work, obviously, but we
But of
support
course.
that. Go. And that's not our community, but that's the world community.
But we are part of the
We're
world.
part of the world. And so, having people that care, because you can give back with money, you can give back with time.
Exactly.
You can give back with service, all of that. And being a thriving business and having that opportunity and balancing that, both your primary job, but also your secondary job.
Exactly. And I believe strongly, I believe this in my heart, that causes a business to be successful. When a community can see that, sure, we're out there, a business, for profit, you're going to get your profit. But when you give back, that causes, everybody watches what you do.
Well, you hope so. I mean, I don't think that's a result of it. It's not the reason you do it.
Exactly.
But it definitely helps you know people. I mean, I'm very active in our schools because I believe that our children, they're the future.
That's out
I'm
tomorrow.
pretty sure that's a song.
Come on.
And we sponsor Pensacola High School, Sims Middle School, Pace High School. You got Krista Wilcox at Pensacola and Ashley Carter at Sims and Dorothy Abernathy over there at Pace High School. They just took a bunch of kids up to DC and Richmond for national speech and debate, learning how to speak, learning how to present. Amazing. And it's just exciting to be able, we have so much talent in this community.
I've said that ever since I got here.
And so having the opportunity to help those kids fulfill their dreams, help the teachers be able to teach, because I know that we get into conversations, the political conversations about budgets and what teachers make. Our schools are so underfunded.
Oh, tell me about it.
It's unbelievable. I told you I've been on the Sims Middle School School Advisory Council. Their operation budget, after salaries and food,
Believe me,
is $22,000 a year. $22,000 a year to provide paper and supplies and things like you can't operate. And that's why it's so important for our businesses and our people to invest, because they can't do it without us.
I agree.
And so I know I'm here to talk about work comp, but I'm also so passionate and I believe so much about that community and love building up
Absolutely.
schools in our
I
schools.
agree with you 100%.
Yes, ma'am.
I was telling just yesterday at a board meeting, I was talking about you guys, as a matter of fact, and how the fact that you all, how involved you are with the schools. And I'll be honest with you, I was talking about Light Up Learning with Quinn Student. I mentioned you guys. I said how you give back with the schools, and I've been doing that ever since I've known you.
Sure, and it's all different ways. We've done the backpacks.
Oh,
we've
cool.
done
Well, of
all
course,
those
we do that.
But you got to be there more than once a year.
Yes,
you got to be there monthly, weekly, daily, all the time, because I think it also, the schools begin to trust you. They know that you're not just doing it for advertising.
Exactly.
And I think it makes a big difference.
Big difference. Trust is something that
Yes, ma'am.
you earn it.
You do.
You earn the trust.
And that's the same trust you earn with clients.
Exactly.
You know, going back with workers' comp, there's two benefits you get. You get wages, you get medical. You don't get pain and suffering. You don't get diminished quality of life in workers' comp. And so what a lot of people don't realize, they come and say, oh, all these things have changed and I'm going through this, I'm hurting.
Right.
I've been injured. And unfortunately, you don't get anything for pain and suffering. But unlike car accidents and slip and falls, there's no policy cap on how much the insurance companies have to pay. So if you get hurt and it costs them $5 million, they got to pay $5 million. They don't get to say, oh, we've reached our policy limits. It is a unlimited and lifelong benefit that you're eligible for.
Unbelievable. How does it have, let's go to I'm going to flip the coin.
You flip it.
If somebody is denied, how does that person handle?
Well, I mean, they have,
How do you handle?
yeah, so if they're denied, well, that's a great question too, because there's two kinds of denials.
Yeah, okay.
So the insurance company can deny that the accident is related to work. They can deny that the injury is related right out of the gate. The whole claim is denied. So the individual has to fight just to open the door, okay? But once the door is open, once you have what we call a compensable or accepted claim, and I told you, those benefits run for life, along the way, we have trials, I'll call mini, M-I-N-I, mini trials, because if they deny an injection, we can go to court on that. If they deny a medical procedure or your wages are being paid wrong, we can go to trial on that. So I have some cases where you go to court multiple times along the way as those cases are open, because the insurance company is constantly looking to try to turn you off. They view you as overhead. You're eating into some CEO's yacht gas money,
I hear
right?
you.
And so they've got to figure out, because, so like when I buy an auto policy, the insurance company, I'm their client, right? So for an injured worker, it's the employer that bought the policy. So the injured worker isn't the customer of the insurance company. They're literally overhead to them. And so a lot of times you'll say, well, my employer treats me so good. It's the insurance company you got to worry about, not the employer, because the employer, especially the smaller the employer is, they have no say what the insurance company's decisions are.
Really?
All of that comes
We're
from.
going to talk about that more. We got to take a break. I want to talk about that a
Yes,
little bit
ma'am.
more. Listen up, ladies and gentlemen. You see, these are things that we didn't know about, right? Conversation creates change. We'll be back with more right here with Brian Carter on Sunshine's Corner.
For 75 years, we've been caring for families, creating jobs, and working to build a healthier community. This is your home, and ours too. We're honored to be the trusted partner in your care. Baptist Healthcare, here for you then, now, and always.
I'm Kathy Holsworth, Artistic Director at Pensacola Little Theater. Join me on the first Monday of every month at 7 p.m. for the Center Stage, where me and my artistic friends talk about all things on the stage and at the Clark Family Cultural Center. Join us, won't you?
Take a breath and step into something green. At Pensacola Seed and Garden, both of our locations are open 7 days a week, ready when you are. We don't just sell plants, we grow many of them right here, with care you can see. And once you take one home, you'll find everything you need to help it thrive. Visiting from out of town? Discover unique, exotic plants you can bring home, often for less than ordering online. Pensacola Seed and Garden. Grow something beautiful.
And welcome back to a conversation. I tell you, this is getting deep, Brian, because well, look, we're talking so much off camera that it's things. Okay, I don't want to forget. Let's go back and talk about when an employer does the independent contracts.
Right. So what we were talking about is people are defined as either an employee or sometimes as an independent contractor. We all hear about independent, usually with builders or people like that, right? And there are a lot of employers that try to avoid workers' compensation responsibility by labeling people as independent contractors, when in fact, by law, they're not. So in order to be a true independent contractor, there are statutory requirements you have to meet in order to fall into that definition. So you have to assume the risk of the supplies you buy. You have to control how the work and when the work is performed. You need to have your own bank account in the name of a company. And if you meet like 4 out of the 6 rules, you are deemed an independent contractor. But a lot of companies will say, well, you're an independent contractor. You may even have your own business and call yourself that, but the employer says, this is where you go, this is when you go, here's the supplies, do the job. The employer gets paid, and then the employer pays you. You are not an independent contractor by law, and you are entitled to workers' compensation benefits. I have a guy right now that I've been representing for the past month. He got hurt on the job. It was a head injury, and he was hospitalized for like a week. $150,000 hospital bill that his employer is trying to deny, saying that he was an independent contractor, and in my opinion, by law, he absolutely is not, and is entitled to those workers' compensation benefits.
Yeah, I wish you could see your eyes when you say, he's absolutely not.
Absolutely not. But those are the ones, again, you got to go to trial to fight. And that's where, I mean, you've mentioned it before, I'm board certified. In order to become board certified, you have to have gone to enough trials to have the judges endorse you to be eligible to take the test you have to pass. You also have to have a certain number of your peers, so some defense attorneys, some competitors, other claimant attorneys and your workers' attorneys rate you as both highest in professional conduct and ethics before you even get to sit down to take a test. And so,
so when you take a test, you got to take a written test?
Yeah, it's a written test. And listen, I like to say it's almost like the NFL. Okay, you got all these high school students or athletes that play. Well, only a percent of those go on to play college, right? Okay. And then a percent of those go to the NFL, and very few of the NFL players are all pros or all stars.
I got you.
So not everybody in college goes to law school.
You got that right.
Not everybody in law school passes the bar. And of the ones that do, there's literally a limited amount that become actually board certified, because it's not easy. You got to have the trials. Most certainly. You got to have the confidence of your peers and the judges, and then you got to pass a test that zero people took that test in work comp this year. 0. 2 last year, and 1 of them passed. Okay. So, and I'm actually on the board for approving and reviewing. And you don't keep it forever. You have to renew it every 5 years.
So you got to take a test again.
You don't have to take the test again, but you have to keep going to trials, and your conduct has to be maintained.
Right.
Because we believe, as in the bar, we want to make sure that the people that we're identifying as the highest experts in their field are good flag bearers
I hear you.
for the legal profession.
But the passion I see in your face, the passion I see that's coming from your heart when you talk about this, and how, especially when you're talking about people that you're really, really helping. I mean, I see.
You want a story?
Yeah, tell me a story,
You want
because
a
I see
story?
the passion in your eyes.
Okay, this is a true story.
Okay.
When I first joined Michles Booth, you know, prior to that, you're working for the insurance companies, and the reality is, every injured worker is just a file, right? They're a file you get. They don't feel like people, and that was one of the reasons I wanted to change.
Right.
One of the very first clients I ever signed up for Michles Booth that I represented, I went to his house because he didn't have the gas money to come to me.
Oh, Jesus.
Because he was hurt, he was out of work.
Right, right.
And I said, I'll come to you. And I pull up to this house, and the grass is overgrown. I remember there was a tricycle sitting there in the weeds. And it was around 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I noticed none of the lights were on.
In the house?
In the house. I knock, they open it up, very modest house, and they didn't have any power.
I knew that's what you were going to say.
Okay. And I sat with the dad and his wife. The father was injured, and they had a little girl who was about 3, 4 years old, walking around. And at that time, I had a 6-year-old. And it hit me.
I can
And
imagine.
after talking to them, the last thing that was said to me is that little girl walked up and said, "Are you going to help my daddy turn the lights back on?"
Oh, my Jesus. I would have been crying.
I did. Well, listen, I mean, it immediately transformed my life.
I got you.
Because I immediately, from almost the day one of representing people, realized how much it impacts families.
Exactly.
I mean, if you miss a paycheck or you are hurt and you go from one person working or two people working to one, it's devastating to families. And so walking away, I knew that for the rest of my life, I would only help people because I got to make sure the people of Pensacola and Fort Walton and Crestview and the Panhandle
That's right.
have their lights on, they have their groceries in the refrigerator, that their children aren't worried about that.
Oh my God.
And I do not, I mean.
That had to be heavy because to see a child to say, "Are you going to help my daddy get the lights back on?" I mean.
Well, because she's aware.
Exactly. She knows what's up.
She
She's a
knows
baby, but
what's
she knows.
up, and it devastated me. And I went from feeling good in my suit and look at me, I'm here to help you, to feeling about this tall.
I hear you.
And it literally, when I say it transformed me in a way that I didn't expect.
Right. But that goes to prove that even whatever profession you are, I mean, I believe, and I strongly believe that God puts that in us, whatever area we go in, not to forget to help that somebody else that's right there that may not be doing as well as you are.
Well, and it takes a team, right? Like,
say that one more time.
It takes a team. Y'all might not know it, but behind Sonshine, on the other side of here, there's a lot of folks working, and you couldn't do what you're doing without them.
That's right.
The same thing for us. Like, I know I'm here right now, but my team, Twanda Purifoy, Nigeria Blanchard, Jason Leger, Tanya Payton, Taylor Hahn, they're all taking care of my clients.
Exactly.
Every single day, because if I'm in trial, I can't take the phones, right?
That's right.
So you have to have people while you're doing other work that you know and you trust, that are skilled, that are kind, that have the same thought process and philosophy.
Say it out loud.
That you do, and that's every single person at Michles Booth. And I know that sounds like you're just puffery, I guess, but it's true because we find people and keep people. Whether it's Cynthia Walsh or Mackenzie Sawyer. I mean, I could name person after person who are kind but so super skilled.
Oh, but of course. And there's a young lady that works with you, and she monitors my page. But she's always giving me the most inspiration ever. Her name is Cynthia.
Is that Cynthia Walsh?
I can't.
It has to be.
Yeah, but she's on my page.
Unless it's Cindy Ward, but I'd say
No,
it's
I know
probably
it's not
Cynthia.
Cindy. Yeah.
It's
But
Cynthia
Cindy,
Walsh.
now Cindy Ward every now and then, well, I'll get a text or something like that or something like. But this she is on my page. This has been years.
Yeah.
And
That is Marcus's right-hand person.
Okay.
So she has been working for him for 14, 15 years.
I got you.
And even when you talk about the continuity, Cindy Ward has been with Marcus, I think, for 22, 23 years.
I believe so.
And has been such an inspirational force as an office manager, because it takes that person to work in concert with everybody and keep everybody. And I'm so fortunate because not everybody gets to go to work in an environment like that.
Exactly. And I'll say this, and I told Marcus this, and well, everybody there tell Lee all the time. It's a pleasure for me to have the relationship that we have built for the last 20 years. And it is amazing the way I feel when we work together. The things that we do. When I walk in that building, it's not as if I'm walking into, well, hi, I'm here. It's, hey, son, I feel like, ha.
Well, and it's not just you, but
I know.
That's the feeling that you want every single client
To walk in to get.
vendor,
Exactly.
police officer.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. There's times where I'm walking in and it's first thing in the morning, and there may be somebody sitting on the couch. Have you been helped?
Thank
Have you.
you.
Been dealt with? Because I'm not walking by just to. It might not be my client.
It's so
but it
easy.
doesn't matter who it is,
That's right. Exactly.
And I think that applies everywhere you are in life. Whether
Exactly.
you're on the sidewalk or
I
in your
agree.
store, the saying hello, the can I help you, can I hold the door, all of that
Yes.
stuff.
It all adds up, and it comes to one point that's what you should get with anybody when you're in anywhere. You should feel that way when you walk in the building. That's the point that I was trying to make, that I'm sure, even, I'll go back to our late Papa Rock.
Oh God!
Oh, God.
Don't do that to me.
Okay, I won't go to Papa Rock. We got to
No,
go
no,
take
you
a
can-
break. I mean, we're going to come back and talk about
We were
Papa Rock.
talking about him the other day.
I love my, look, and now that his wife is gone, it's like, she passed away a couple years ago. But
We still have a picture of Papa Rock in the hallway upstairs because he was just a special individual. I can still see him driving in that burgundy Cadillac.
hello, what? He's the man, okay?
He is.
I am Michles Booth.
He was Michles Booth.
Everybody, we're having a great conversation. We got to take our final break. We'll be back with more right here on Sunshine's Corner.
Hey folks, Winston Lindsay here with Living Southern Homes in Bruton, Alabama. We just want to remind you our new show will be coming on at 5:30 on Mondays on Blab TV and also Thursday at noon. Don't miss these opportunities. We will see you then.
At FPL, we plan for storm season all year long. We're strengthening poles to better withstand severe weather. We're clearing lines to improve resiliency, and we're constantly training teams to act at a moment's notice. Because we're always working, always preparing. So when storms do hit, you can count on us. FPL, working for you every single day.
The Emerald Coast Utilities Authority's state-of-the-art materials recycling facility processes recyclables for communities throughout the region, lowering need for more landfills. This highly efficient recycling service accepts glass, paper, cardboard, plastics, aluminum, and more. But we need your help. Please make sure your recyclables are clean of garbage, food, and liquids. Also, please remember that plastic shopping bags, foam products, or yard waste are not recyclable. To learn more, go to livegreenecua.com.
Well, I think it's all about local, and I'm a big believer in local. So I think anytime you can carry a message out locally, it's important. And And I think it's anytime the person that delivers the service can also deliver the message, which is unusual. You have the people that actually deliver the project doing the talking, and I think that's a huge difference, and really makes a huge value difference for the consumer. So I'm really just so grateful that we have this local opportunity with Blab TV. My name is Quint Studer, and I am Blab TV.
And welcome back to Sunshine's Corner. This is a conversation, I'll tell you what, the clock ticks so fast when you're learning so much and you're having fun doing that process. It's like I said, now Brian and I talk so much off camera. If we just could keep going, I mean, we could be going up another hour.
I mean, we could probably go on all day.
I know that, but when we were talking about the things that, I was talking about Papa Rock and how Papa Rock left a mark on, I love it with the perfect kind of love, Papa Rock. I mean, but he was a part of Michles Booth, and you
institution of Michles Booth.
Hello.
Hello.
I have a picture and a video when we did a fish fry there, where we'd celebrate in the parking lot.
Yes, ma'am. I remember that.
And I got Pop Rock right there talking, right? Sitting talking to Marcus. But I keep all these things for my memory's sake. I got to bring that to you and let y'all see that here where he was talking about. Well, y'all need to come by.
Yeah. I used to always laugh because my back, I faced the computer. My back is to the door, and I would hear he would.
That's him.
And I would turn around. I knew before I even turned, Papa Rock's in my office. So that was how I always knew he was there.
Exactly. Love him so much.
100%.
But let's talk about, this is our last break. Let's go back and talk about some of the things like when we were talking about a moment ago, like the young lady who changed your life with the baby who walks up to you to say, when we all have a job, but there's another side, even that child had to bring that out in a different way, but there's a part of us, how can I say this? That even when you're working, there's another side with your job and what you do, because people say, oh, he's just that lawyer. He's just going to do this, but.
Well, you know, I think a lot of people, most people have never engaged with a lawyer, right? They haven't had to have one, thankfully. And so their only idea of a lawyer is what you see on TV. And what you see on TV is not always, that's the sensational version.
Right.
You know, the thing that grabs viewers, and it seems like they're always fighting and they're argumentative, but and not every lawyer's the same. But talking about that young lady, you know, I'd said off air, hopefully that seed of compassion was in me,
right? And
she watered it and nurtured it, and it I hope fully bloomed and developed. And I think that that's what it takes. Because as a lawyer, you know, you hear words like we're counselors. You have to be able to empathize and sympathize with the people that are going through things, because nobody wakes up on a Thursday morning and says, I think I'm going to get hurt today.
Absolutely.
That's my plan.
Absolutely.
You know, accidents happen and they're unexpected. They're life-altering, they're life-changing. You know, the goal for me with every single client is I want you to come in, that we navigate the system. Hopefully, the insurance company does everything right. They get better, they go back to work. That's the goal of every single client. But if it's an injury that won't go away, that's permanent, or that means you can't do your job anymore, that's when you gotta fight for those medical benefits and the wages. Because if you're hurt bad enough, the insurance company has to pay you till you're 75. If you cannot work, you become eligible for permanent disability benefits.
Y'all know that till you're 75, golly.
Yeah, so it used to be forever, and then they reeled it back in because they said, hey, most people retire by 75, and the insurance companies didn't want to pay 83-year-olds permanent disability, so they've reeled it into 75. But
unbelievable.
If you can't work any job within 50 miles of your home based on your age, your education, your work experience, and the limitations from your injury, you're eligible for those permanent disability benefits till you're 75.
We're down to our last 2 minutes. Now, what would you like to leave our viewers with today?
Make that call. Okay, there's no...
Look into that camera.
There's no downside to calling us, sitting down, and having the conversation to understand what your benefits are about. And it agonizes me that people that don't seek to get information.
Right.
Because again, you don't know what you don't know.
Absolutely.
So come in, get that information on the front side. If you decide that you want that lawyer to walk that path with you, so as every branch changes, they can give you advice and information, call us. We're here 24/7, 7 days a week, every single day of the year, available and ready to help you.
Don't be a victim twice.
Don't be, you got hurt. You don't want to be a victim of the system. Don't be a victim twice.
And you explained it already, because I was going to say, explain to them what you mean by that. Don't be a victim twice. I mean,
so you get hurt, that's victim number one.
Number one.
But don't let the system victimize you and compromise you and your family.
Absolutely. Brian, I tell you, this has been wonderful. But I mean, we've talked about so much, and there's still so many things in my head, but you'll be back again.
We got another time.
We got another time to talk about.
I think I got time for you.
I think so too. But you know, I want to say to everybody that's viewing this today, make sure that if you've got a problem that you don't understand, don't be afraid to ask questions.
Absolutely.
Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to say, oh, I'm going to do this because I'll be okay. No, there are people like Brian that can tell you what you need to do to take care of you. 438-4848. You can call that number, ask for Brian Carter, and they'll get you right to him.
Right to me.
I tell you. But ladies and gentlemen, remember this. You do not have to be a victim twice in any situation. If there's something going on your job, or you hurt your toe and you don't know what to do, call Brian.
There you go.
It's time for us to go. I got to leave you as I do every day. Never, ever, ever lose your focus. Always remember this. If you keep God first, I'll guarantee you this, you're going to be a total success. Now, until the next time, for another day of sunshine, know that I love you with a perfect kind of love. Go out, tell somebody that you love them and mean it, and keep shining while I'm gone. 850-438-4848. Brian Carter.
There you go.
Board certified.
Board certified.
Thank you so much, Brian.
Thank you, Sunshine.
Have a great day, love. We're going to be back tomorrow with even more right here on Sunshine's Corner. Bye for now.